Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about Paul Pogba and the potential headache he's going to be giving Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at Manchester United. But before we get into Paul Pogba, he recently scored the winning goal against Fulham, so let's talk about the player ratings. Every player starts off on a 5, if they do everything right they get a 10, if they do everything wrong they get a 0. David De Gea, I think David De Gea had an okay game. He obviously conceded a goal, he made a couple of good saves that he probably should have made, so overall I'll give him a 5.5 out of 10. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, I feel like Aaron Wan-Bissaka was out of position a lot in the first half. He got better going into the second half. I feel like Fulham didn't attack us as much, so that maybe helped him. I think if he would have continued as bad as he did in the first half, he would have got maybe even a lower rating. But overall, I give Aaron Wan-Bissaka a 3.5 out of 10. I thought Eric Bailly had another good game. I feel like he's really suiting playing next to Maguire at the back. I feel like he was the most solid of our defence. I'd give him a 7 out of 10. On to Harry Maguire. I feel like Harry Maguire had a good game. I feel like he had a couple of chances where he could have scored a header going forward. He also did a couple of good passes into the final third, which you don't often see from your centre-back. So it's quite good to see him stepping out when Fulham was sitting back and sort of adding to the attack. But overall, I don't think he was as good as Eric Bailly defensively, so I'll give him a 6.5 out of 10. Going on to Luke Shaw, I think Luke Shaw had a lot of licence to go forward this game. I feel like Fulham's goal maybe came from him pushing on forward. Maguire had to come out of position and the defence kind of was a bit like everywhere. I don't feel like it was, you can target one player and say that it was their fault for the goal. But I think Luke Shaw was good going forward. I think he was hampered a bit by Martial, and I feel like he maybe would have got a better score if he was playing with Rashford, because I feel like Rashford and Shaw have an understanding and they sort of complement each other. I feel like Martial hasn't been playing on the left, or he's just started to recently for a few games, but he's not really used to it yet. So I feel like there needs to be an understanding built between Shaw and Martial. I also think Martial's out of form. Back to Shaw, I'd give him a 7 out of 10. I think he had a good game. Going into midfield, I think Fred had a really good game. I think he had a lot to do this game. I feel like Pogba going forward left Fred to run around a lot more and sort of cover for Pogba being out of position. I feel like that was part of the tactics, and I also feel like Fulham did a lot better than maybe Ole Gunnar Solskjaer expected and gave Pogba more licence to go forward. I don't think it was Pogba's fault, but I think Fred did a good job filling in for Pogba with him going forward. Overall, I give Fred a 7.25 out of 10. Going on to the man that the video is about, Paul Pogba. I think Paul Pogba had a very good game going forward. I feel like he was our best attacking outlet by far. I feel like he leaves a lot to be desired defensively, but I feel like he's allowed to go forward and he's told to go forward, so I don't think it's necessarily his fault. What I would say though is when he has been asked to defend, he's often lazy, jogs back when he should be sprinting, and he's not very hard working defensively, but I don't feel like he's a centre defensive midfielder. I think you could argue he's a centre midfielder and he plays that for France, or even a centre attacking midfielder. He often played on the left for Juventus and he's been doing well on the left for us. But overall, I don't feel like he's a true centre defensive midfielder. I think he's doing a job, and I feel like he's doing an okay job, and I think he's doing a very good job going forward. Overall, I think Paul Pogba was my man of the match, and I give him a 7.5 out of 10. On to Anthony Martial. Look, he had a woeful game. Even with Shaw behind him, nothing was coming off for him. I don't think he's used to the position, but more than that, I feel like he needs a rest. I'd give him a 3 out of 10. On to Bruno Fernandes. I think it was much of the same. He looked tired. I think we've had a very busy period, and I feel like you need to rest players like Bruno to get the best out of them, and I think it would be best for the team overall if them players are firing on all cylinders. I feel like I'd like to see Donny van de Beek play more, maybe give Bruno a rest, put him on the bench. Overall, I give Bruno a 5.5 out of 10. On to Mason Greenwood. I feel like he went missing in this game. I feel like when the game isn't going our way, it often happens with Greenwood, and I feel like that's just down to his inexperience. I also know he's been having some personal issues at home, so that's probably not helping him either, but just basing it purely off football, I'd give him a 3.5 out of 10. On to our striker, Edinson Cavani. I feel like he had a good game. I feel like he was in the right position to score that goal, and I feel like he was moving around and sort of trying to make things happen. The service wasn't there for him, but he didn't stop running. I'd give him a 6.5 out of 10. On to our substitutes, McTominay, Rashford and Matic. All of them came on late. All of them didn't really have a chance to impact the game. I'd give them a 5 out of 10. So on to Paul Pogba and this headache he's kind of causing Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I look at it in two ways. I feel like there's negatives and positives with Paul Pogba when he's playing. Looking at the negatives, I feel like he's maybe taking up positions of other players and then he'll be gone next season, if you know what I mean. Like there's Donny van de Beek who's on the bench, and you can easily play Donny van de Beek in Paul Pogba's position and start bleeding Donny van de Beek into the squad. And I feel like that will benefit Donny van de Beek and Manchester United in the long run. I feel like you're also setting a bad precedent where you're giving these players a huge amount of money and they're sort of acting like they're bigger than the club. Paul Pogba's got his agent saying that he doesn't want to be here, and if he doesn't want to be here and they're being so open about it, why is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer playing Paul Pogba? It just kind of makes the club look a little bit like a joke. But there are also positives to Paul Pogba playing at the minute. He's just scored and won us the game against Fulham. That's 2 points. He also scored the winning goal against Burnley, so that's another 4 points. And I think in a season that's so open and we have the potential of winning the title, I feel like playing Paul Pogba and him gaining us these points is crucial for us, and it could define our season and potentially make us title winners if everything goes right for us and everything goes wrong for the other teams. You also need to take into consideration that other clubs will be watching Paul Pogba, and the interest that might have died down previously, now that he's playing well, they'll want to sign him, and it's going to increase his value. I think overall, if Pogba's playing well and helping contribute to the team, that's all that matters at the minute. If he's going to go, he's going to go. Why not put him in the shop window? If he's helping us win, and we're going to get more money for him, I just see it as a win-win. I don't think there's any point getting stressed out about it. As long as he's a Manchester United player, I'm going to support him, and hopefully he can just give it his all and help us this season. Let me know what you guys think of the Paul Pogba situation down below in the comments section. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you next time.